Hello and welcome to EB-5 Investment Report. I'm your host, Amy Rios, and recently we attended the EB-5 Capital Raising Seminar Dialogue with a Chinese Investor in Las Vegas, Nevada. The event was hosted by Artisan Business Group and speakers included Brian Su, CEO of Artisan Business Group, Al Rattan, CEO of Continental East Development and founder of USA Continental Regional Center, Steve Anapol, Securities and Corporate Attorney, and John Lee, CEO of EB5Supermarket.com. A panel discussion at the end of the day featured a Chinese investor who spoke about her journey through the EB-5 process. We're here with Brian Su, founder and president of Artisan Business Group. Brian, can you tell us why an event like this is so important to the EB-5 community?
I think a lot of developers, they are very new with the EB-5 program. We provide an excellent platform and opportunity for the developers to talk to the industry's leaders and experts.
What are some of the things you want people to take away from this event?
Basically, they would learn what the program is, and they will find out how the market works. Basically, the bottom line is to secure the capital overseas. And definitely they want to understand whether what they do would comply with the law in the United States and overseas.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your business, the Artisan Business Group, and what exactly you do?
We basically help developers and the regional centers to facilitate relationship between the project developers with immigration industry overseas to help them secure the capital that they need.
Lately, USCIS has implemented a lot more requirements and evidence REFs. Can you tell us why some projects fail?
I think some of the developers, because of the need of a capital, they rush into the program, rush into the marketplace, and the lack of the basic understanding of the market, lack of understanding of overseas culture, the international culture, and so they fail. And the important thing is some of the developers, they lack of the professional guidance in the marketplace.
We're here with Al Rattan, founder of USA Continental Regional Center. Al, can you tell us why an event like this is important to you as a owner of a regional center?
Sure. This event, as you know, is put on by Brian Su, and one of the ideas is he develops educational workshops to provide EB-5 seminars across the country, and we've been to a number of his events. And I think that what Brian is doing for the EB-5 program is he's teaching people how, if they're contemplating to become an EB-5 regional center, what you need to do. If you're going to go to China or Asia, how you market projects. And there's always a learning opportunity. And every time we come to these workshops, we come away with more information.
Now, from the perspective as a regional center, why do you think some regional centers fail?
That's a hard question. Perhaps the best is that maybe they're not doing their homework. One of the purposes of the seminar today is to kind of get into the how-to do. And many of the regional centers that were having problems came on at the height of the recession, and maybe there wasn't the proper due diligence. As a result, the centers failed. But that doesn't mean the program's bad. It just means that, like in anything, in the stock market, there's good, bad, and ugly. And we want to try to focus that the program has a great opportunity, but needs to perhaps do a little bit more homework.
We're here with Tom Casebolt, Director for EB-5 Resource Center. Tom, can you tell me why an event like this is so important to the EB-5 community?
Yes, it is the information that gets shared amongst all of the attendees and the speakers that we have of actual hands-on experience is so important to the new developers coming in. Not only the new developers, but also even the attorneys that are in the business themselves. We get to hear what's going on with other individuals. And so we can share that, and it just grows the knowledge base of what's going on in the industry.
What do you expect to get from this conference today?
What do I expect to get from this conference? What I get out of all of them. First thing is that staying on top of everything that's going on. With some of the speakers that we have, the trends that we have a speaker that's coming up with Greenberg Torg. He's the SEC, which is one very important new thing that's happening in our industry right now, and so I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, also, I'm looking for new business too, and so hopefully I'll land some new clients out of it.
Can you tell us what EB-5 Resource Center is?
Yes, EB-5 Resource Center it's a consulting group. I do consulting with people, developers that come with projects. We're very, very picky about who we choose because we also go all the way through. We create the regional center. We have the team of professionals, the attorneys, the economists, the business plan writers. We do the whole thing, and then on the end, then we also do the marketing to help them to get the investors. So we're only going to take on people that we think that we're going to be able to get the money for.
Can you tell me what some of the challenges that Americans face when going to China to recruit investors?
Well, first of all, if you really think that you can go over and knock on doors by yourself, it's been proven over and over again that you cannot. I've met many developers who have tried that and spent a lot of money doing so. And somebody who had made major blunders myself in their culture. It's very important to understand. We get in the U.S. rather self-centered in our culture, and it's very important to open your mind and to learn their culture, if nothing else, out of mere hospitality.
We're here with Stephen Anapol, corporate and securities attorney. Stephen, can you please tell us what your firm does and how it pertains to the EB-5 program?
Sure. We're an international law firm. My particular practice area is corporate structuring and securities advice. And as an international law firm, we have multiple disciplinary practice. So we have immigration lawyers that provide the immigration advice and counsel with respect to immigration law. We have corporate securities lawyers that assist with the corporate securities offering and deal structuring aspects of the business. And then many of the EB-5 programs have certain regulatory requirements, whether they be involved in skilled nursing care or maritime projects that require other regulatory aspects. And so we have experts in those fields as well.
During your speech, you mentioned that regional centers should actually be called regional administrators. Why is that?
People think of a regional center as a physical location with just a geographic scope. It's some form of center that exists. And in reality, what a regional center is it's an entity that's formed to help facilitate jobs in certain designated geographic areas and in certain industries. And so when we rely on regional centers to enable us to use indirect and induced jobs, it's really an administration relationship. We engage a regional center, or can engage a regional center, through a contractual relationship where it simply provides administrative services to the project companies or the entities that raise capital. And the administrative services are the services that enable the project companies to comply with the reporting and requirements and monitoring requirements of immigration.
Do you think the tightening of some of the USCIS requirements will result in more I-829 approvals or less?
I think that the things that the Immigration Service are doing, at least my focus has been primarily making sure that documentation is done properly from a securities perspective. They're liaisoning with the Securities Exchange Commission. So I think what CIS is doing is very good because they want to make sure that the program has integrity, not only from an immigration perspective, but from a securities law perspective. So while I appreciate what they're doing, my preference from a securities law perspective is that there would be some leeway so that we can provide the adequate protection to the investor and the project companies without regulatory overkill. But that's not an immigration service issue. That is more of a securities law related issue. No one ever thought about EB-5 when early on when the securities laws were written, and so there's an intersection between the securities laws and EB-5 program. And what works for the EB-5 program doesn't always work in securities laws or otherwise. And so we're trying to balance business reality and being pragmatic, and at the same time comply with the various laws and guidance by the SEC and the EB-5, CIS through the EB-5 program.
We're here with Aaron Goforth with Wright Johnson. Aaron, can you explain the aspect of job creation and how that pertains to EB-5 and what some of the pitfalls that investors face are?
Yeah, job creation is really a cornerstone to the entire program. Job creation determines how many investors can invest into a project and how much EB-5 capital can be raised. Since so much is predicated on job creation, it's good to have a job buffer so that alien investors feel more secure that they'll get their green card if the job creation targets aren't hit.
Can you explain the RIMS 2 model and maybe some of the other models and calculating job creation?
There are several models that are used for job creation: RIMS 2, InPlan, Radine, and others. CIS has said that they don't have a preference which model is executed. It just needs to be rational and logical and well supported. Historically, RIMS 2 and InPlan and Radine are the models, the input-output models that you'll see most commonly in an economic job report.
And what role does your company play as it pertains to EB-5?
We help on a multitude of fronts. So we assemble a team to help either get a new regional center approved, amendment for existing regional center, and our core competency really is around job creation and economic job studies, as well as the other supporting documents required to navigate the EB-5 process.
Do you think that the tightening of requirements from USCIS will result in more or less 829 approvals?
So it's my perspective that the more rigor they put on the 924 and 526 applications, hopefully the more streamlined and efficient the approvals will be down the road at the 829 stage.
The seminar was an all-day event and provided ample opportunity for networking with experts and learning different aspects of the EB-5 program, from raising capital to marketing and learning what it's like to go through the petitioning process through the eyes of an investor. I'm your host, Amy Rios, and I want to thank you for watching this edition of EB-5 Investment Report.